We're joined by Decision Economics President, CEO, and Chief Global Economist, Alan Sinai. Alan, always good to have you on the program. What do you Peter just outlined what's likely to be asked, but what do you want to hear from Bernanke today?
I think Peter's asking all the right questions. The reporters always ask good questions, and I don't think we'll get surprised. He won't go out ahead of what they said in their last statement. I think the attempt here is to clarify for ordinary kind of Americans what goes on in monetary policy and to demystify it and to get everyone in the public to understand what the Federal Reserve is doing and why, what they're thinking about. This is a revolution in communication by the Federal Reserve in terms of being transparent, another step in that process. De facto, we have already had a huge change in the communication of the Federal Reserve to the public. And Bernanke and others in the Fed really believe in that.
And you think, Alan, that they are spurring this revolution within the Fed for more transparency because the public is still not buying QE2?
Oh, I think that's part of it. It's a big mystery. QE2, the Federal Reserve printing money, expanding its balance sheet. Is it going to lead to a lot of inflation? Is it really going to help? Is it worth all the trouble? There is some explaining to do by the Federal Reserve, not just to Congress, but to the public at large, to financial market participants, to the media, in the sense of getting people to understand why they're doing what they're doing. I think this is really appropriate, and I applaud them for it. The central bank has always been a big mystery to most, very secretive. And this is the way perfect markets are supposed to operate. We're supposed to know as much as possible and then make intelligent decisions.
Well, what could Bernanke say today, Alan, though, that could shed any more light on the way the Fed operates? In any way, what could he say that's different from what he said before?
He's explaining it to a different audience, a much broader audience. Number one, it's about the economic outlook, and that is brightening. And I think we will hear an upbeat assessment. Not that we're through, but that we're over the hump. We're in what we economists technically call the expansion phase of the business cycle. It's a good place to be in. It's entrenched, it's sustained and sustainable, and we will see the unemployment rate start to come down. I think he'll tell us that, but stubbornly so. And he will defend, in response to questions about QE2, like from Peter, the QE2 process, the quantitative easing, the buying of Treasury securities, and make clear that this is helping, will help. There's a lot of Federal Reserve research on that. And I think in response to questions, he'll be clear that the Federal Reserve, when the time comes, and we're not there yet, will be able to exit in a way that will not be disruptive. That's what he'll tell us.
Right, the exit plan, which a lot of people have said is a mystery right now. Alan, do you expect, he's talking today on the day right before the monthly jobs report. Do you expect him to give any indications on the jobs market, or any indications on what we might expect tomorrow?
I think jobs are improving. All of the indicators indicate the jobs market's improving, the economy's improving. Nowhere near enough. We're not going to generate enough jobs to bring that unemployment rate down fast. It's going to be a slow, long process. He will probably say that may take years to get the unemployment rate down where the Federal Reserve wants it to be. And so, given the mandate, the job of the Federal Reserve, according to the law of the land, the dual mandate, maximum employment, price stability, since we're very far short on both those objectives, I think he'll make clear that the Federal Reserve is in there to stay, to get the unemployment rate down and to raise inflation from where it is now.
But do you think, Alan, again, I know you talked to the central bank, I know you've talked to Bernanke several times. Is there actually internal debate within the Fed about their own dual mandate, or is that all publicly driven?
I think within the Fed, there is a vast, large consensus. The dual mandate is right. That is maximum employment and price stability, both. And I think in monetary policy theory and applications for the United States, I think we all are signed on to that. That's perfectly appropriate. In our country, we care more about growth as well as not having too much inflation or too little inflation than most other countries. It has served us well over many years. Many other countries simply target price inflation and expect the rest of it to fall into line.
Right.
I don't think it always does. We care much more about unemployment in this country, and personally and professionally, I think that's the right way to be.
Alan, I appreciate it. Thank you. Good to see you again.